Is race a social construct? You've seen them out in public and all over social media. Social justice activists shouting mantras learned from their Marxist college professors. Quote, race is a social construct. There is no such thing as race. End quote. Bill Nye. Quote, biological distinctions. Why should we want to do that? Are any racial classifications useful from the issue of justice and fairness? End quote. Professor Philip Kitchener, Columbia University. Race is a social construct is pushed by left-wing activists posing as scientists on YouTube and other social media. Quote, biological distinctions, often called race realism, proponents of these views say racial groups have real differences. This has been the view of terrorists, Nazis, and other racists, end quote. Professor Zach Hancock, University of Michigan. The social activists use similar talking points and repeat them on campus, all over the community, and on social media. But the hard evidence does not match their dogmatic bromides. Lewontin's fallacy. Scientific American has called Richard Lewontin arguably the most influential population geneticist of the 20th century. Professor Lewontin, a self-professed Marxist, taught at Columbia for over 40 years. College textbooks have entire chapters devoted to Lewontin and his theories on genetics. Lewontin's study was released in 1972, Apportionment of Human Diversity. Lewontin devised the FST formula, which measures genetic similarity among human populations. FST serves as the basis for applied population genetics. The formula uses gene alleles to measure genetic distances between populations within a particular species. The scale runs from 0.01 to 1.0. According to Lewontin's findings, all humans have 99.5% similarity. From University of Pennsylvania genetics professor Sarah Tishkoff, quote, FST between human populations is about 15%. The majority of the variation is found within a population. Only about 15% occurs between populations, end quote. As an example, two random humans, max differential could be 0.5%. Two cluster of ethnic populations, max differential could be 15%. The math of the Lewontin formula is fundamentally correct. However, as we will soon see, the model fails in comparative analysis. It also overlooks some hugely important variables. Enter our primate cousins. According to Dr. Tishkoff, the average FST among chimpanzee populations is 32%. In taxonomical classifications, 32% differential amounts to 4 separate subspecies designations for chimpanzees, plus the bonobos. Four subspecies of chimpanzees, our closest living relatives. Yet, according to Dr. Tishkoff and other Lewontin disciples, 15% FST differential for humans is merely a social construct. Lewontin geneticists also ignore FST comparisons within the overall taxonomic family of primates. The left geneticists and their social justice disciples never mention that humans and chimpanzees are 98.6% genetically similar. And humans and bonobos are even a tiny bit more closely related at 98.7% genetically similar. That is, humans at 99.5%, chimpanzees at 98.6%, and bonobos at 98.7%. The fatal flaw in the genetics professor's modeling. The evolutionary science world changed dramatically in 2010 when Svante Pääbo and his team in Leipzig, Germany confirmed Neanderthal DNA admixture in the Eurasian genome. We now know Europeans have 2 to 4% Neanderthal DNA admixture. In 2011, Matthias and Krauss discovered Denisovan DNA. We now know Asians and Melanesians have up to 5% Denisovan admixture, with some Oceanian populations as high as 7.8%. In 2019, the UCLA genetics team of Sankararaman and Dervisula confirmed 19% archaic hominid DNA admixture in modern Africans. The ghost admix could be an Australopithecine or Homo naledi. None of the genetics models pushed by liberal college professors measure archaic hominid DNA admixture. Nor do they take into account the exploding hominid fossil record, 6 or 7 new hominid species discovered just in the last 5 years. Indeed, Dr. Tishkoff, regarded as the top geneticist in the country, bases her theories on the outdated and obsolete out of Africa model. In her YouTube lecture series, Dr. Tishkoff states that the FST of 15% figure is based on genetic variation, quote, reflecting our common ancestor in Africa the last 50 to 100,000 years ago. A last common ancestor in Africa 50 to 100,000 years ago might have made more sense when Dr. Tishkoff made that assertion 14 years ago. Today, it is a grossly inaccurate and obsolete basis to utilize in genetic modeling. We now know, given very recent archaeological finds in southern Europe, China, and Southeast Asia, early Homo sapiens were in Eurasia at least 400,000 years ago. Despite all the evidence to the contrary, the social justice activists still shout in the streets, race is a social construct. Fortunately, not everyone is buying the race is a social construct line of the left-wing activists. A TikTok influencer went viral in early 2023 with 1.6 million views. Quote, 9 subspecies of tigers, 3 subspecies of zebras, 9 subspecies of giraffes, but no subspecies of humans, end quote. We hope this video will inspire you to fight back against the social agitators who deny basic human biology. Thanks for watching, y'all. Remember, it helps our efforts greatly if you pass this video on to others. Thank you.